sound like me. Okay, let me try that again. Hello fam, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Still doesn't sound like me. Let's try it again one more time. Hi fam, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Oh yeah, that's the one. I'm still trying to get used to this whole thing, so yeah, bear with me. So yeah, today I want to talk substance abuse. I have mentioned that I am a recovered alcohol and drug addict. So today I just want to go into it, my journey through it, my take on it, and all of that stuff. So yeah, stay tuned and let's get right into it. Yeah, that's better. Hello fam. So I mentioned that today I want to talk substance abuse. I am a recovered drug and alcohol addict, and yeah, I just want to just take you guys through that journey, and also my journey of recovery, and also my take on the widespread of the substance abuse. So yeah, I took drugs, cocaine and cat for 4 years of my life, and I was very much addicted, hardcore addicted, and I quit over 8 years ago, I think. Yeah, 8 years ago, because I quit in 2014. So it's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So it's 9 years. I am 9 years clean of the hardcore drugs. And wow, addiction is something else, hey? Phew. You need to understand that cocaine and cat, they are uppers, stimulants. I think that's the right term. Yeah, stimulants. They're uppers. So they keep you up all night. So we used to be like up all night partying and, getting all sorts of trouble, club hopping, casino hopping. I think casino hopping was my most favorite. We used to casino hop all the time. Gold Reef, Monte Casino, what's that other one in Joburg? Can't remember it at the moment. I think it's in Klerksdorp. We would do all this in one night, but we liked especially Monte Casino and Gold Reef City in one night because the other one is a bit far. That's what, you just want to be out. You want to be at a club, and then next minute you club hopping, another club, and then you're here, you're there, you're here, you're there, you're here, you're there. It is an upper, it's a stimulant. It keeps you up for days. You could be up for days. And for me, it was, I felt that I've always had like a low self-esteem. I had confidence issues. And, the first time I took that first line of cocaine, I felt alive. I don't know how to explain it. It gives you this unimaginable confidence. And for me, for a person who has struggled with self-esteem and a lack of confidence and not feeling enough, that feeling that, I feel like I can do anything because it gives you that confidence. For me, it was like heaven, I tell you. I felt that now, nobody, next. Pulled out that failure, you guys. So it was like, it was that just, I got hooked. I believe I got hooked from that first line because I believe that more than anything for me, I don't know if addiction works this way for everyone. I got addicted to the feeling, how the drug made me feel, how confident I felt, I'm sorry, I keep knocking this thing down, how on top of things I felt, how I felt focused, like I felt like there's nothing I cannot do. And I got addicted to that feeling. So from that first line on, it was on and on and on and on. I lived in Nelspruit for a while, and then I lived in Joburg, and then Pretoria for a bit of a while, and then back to Joburg. So it was insane. No, it was Pretoria first and then Joburg. So Nelspruit, Pretoria, Joburg. The period of me taking the drugs, not when I was in varsity and stuff. So And in this period of time, I'm registered for psychology, because I registered for my psychology in 2011. Like, my family advised that, now we are going to let you decide what you want to register, because clearly you want to live this wild life, and you feel that we are controlling, and you feel that we make you do things that you basically you don't want to do. So you decide. So I decided I want to study psychology, because genuinely I'm somebody that is interested in how the mind works, because I have always just been wondering, why do I behave the way that I do? So I'm like, you know what? I want to study psychology. So I registered for psychology in 2011, and that was when the drugs were, the drugs were like in it. This is my second year of the drug taking. So it went on. I was registered. Like, I would write sometimes my exams. Sometimes I would go to my examination high, and then I would not write. I would register and not register. My parents think I registered, and all of that. I was registered with UNISA. So I wasted a lot of time, a whole lot of time. I wasted a lot of time. I wasted my parents' money. I was just living this life. I was so empty within myself. I was not happy at all. I was trying to find myself in this drug, find my confidence in these drugs, my confidence rather in these drugs, try to make friends, because now I'm confident when I'm high, then I can make friends, then I can socialize, things like that, and then I got addicted to that. I got derailed. My dreams got derailed. It was just a mess, and I was out living in the world with a person who was abusing me. It was just, my life was just a mess. And that is what drugs do to you. You get addicted to the feeling, you get addicted to the high, you get addicted to the euphoria, you get addicted to how you feel when you're on drugs, that you lose focus on the important things in your life. And I did that. I mean, I was 21 years old. Yes, I had dropped out of 2 varsities because I was just, the girl was just out partying. But at 21, I could have been focused, registered for a 3-year degree, and at 23, I graduate. But no, the drugs. I wasted so much time due to the drugs. I wasted a lot of time. And it was hard, because there were times when, when you stay with an abusive partner, and then you also taking drugs and stuff like that, your self-esteem is already like knocked out, because I was taking the drugs to boost my self-esteem. So already my self-esteem was like a mess. Already it was down. So it was like I am dealing with that already low self-esteem, and the drugs also, they're not helping the situation. Also, the abusive partner is not helping the situation. Like, things are just bad. My relationship with my parents is not the best. It was like shattered with my family, basically. I eventually got tired of it, because my parents took me to rehab, but after 21 days, I mean, I was just like, I'm on to the next, on to the next drug taking. I got to a point where I got tired. After being taken to rehab, I mean, think about this. After being taken to rehab, I come back from rehab, I go right straight back into the drugs, because I was not ready to leave the drugs at that point in time. My parents wanted me to get help. Everybody else wanted me to get help. But me, Shoki, I was not ready to get help. So that's how it's, that's how eventually I had to get to a place where I want to change, where I need to make that change. And I sat down, asked myself, do I really want my life to end up this way? Am I this person? I used to be a person with dreams. I used to be a person who had aspirations. I used to be a person who dreamed. I was a big dreamer. I'm an introvert. And I had self-esteem issues, but I had dreams. And I was like, I'm not going to play myself like this. Nuh-uh, honey. I didn't even go to rehab for me to eventually quit the alcohol. I just told the drugs, sorry. I just told myself that I'm done. I'm not saying that it was easy, especially if you're not, you don't go to rehab. It's not easy. But I had to come to a place where I had to discipline myself. But honestly, for me, I feel the biggest, and I can only give props to God. That is the biggest. He is the biggest. reason that I became clean, because he gave me the strength to. I am a hardcore Christian. You know, the former addict now is like a hardcore Christian. God just took me from the muddy clay. You know the song? He lifted me up from the deep muddy clay and planted my feet on the King's highway. And that is the reason I sing and I shout, for Jesus came down and he lifted me up. He did that. Christ came down and lifted me up. The drug addict up. The person with no direction, with no sense of worth, feeling like I'm not enough, drowning in my tears every night because I'm not happy, I'm not joyful, suicidal thoughts. But he picked me up and he pulled me up of that dark place, and I was able to overcome that addiction, that drug addiction. I was able to say, you know what, I want to be something. I want to be a better person. I submitted and surrendered to him. Then I went back home, left that life, went back home. My parents own a school, St. Peter's Combined Christian School. They offered me a job. Mind you, this is a person who does not have a qualification, you know. We can call it nepotism, but I ain't saying none. But yeah, my parents gave me a chance, you know. They gave me like a second chance, and I took it. I grabbed it with both hands, and I walked into my first day of work. I was freaking out, but I was like, I'm ready for this challenge. This is do or die. This is do or die. It's either you sink or you swim, you know. Adapt or die. Okay, that's such a terrible saying. I apologize for saying that. Oh my God, I take it back. But yeah, it was that. It was sink or swim, and I had no choice but to swim. I had absolutely no choice but to swim. And you know, when you leave the drugs, you know, cross addiction. There's such a thing as cross addiction. I think the right term is cross addiction. Let me just check quickly. Oh, it's not cross addiction. I'm sorry. Cross addiction is something completely different. Cross addiction, I think it's being addicted to two things, according to what Google is saying. So it's substituting one addiction for another. That's what happened with me. I replaced the drug addiction with the alcohol addiction. You know, when you leave the hardcore drugs, you feel like alcohol is not a big deal. And for most people, it works for them. For me, however, it did not work for me, because I completely replaced that addiction. I was hooked on alcohol now. And it started off as, you know, I'm just taking the edge off. Like, you know, I was just like, I left the drugs and then I started drinking a lot. But it was like, I could manage it at first. I was like, I'll drink over the weekend, and during the week I wouldn't. And it worked for a year. I think that worked. And then the drinking kept increasing. It was now, it ventured into an everyday thing. And then I fell pregnant in 2015. My firstborn he's 7 now. He was born in 2016. Beautiful boy. Oh my God, I'm blessed. So I fell pregnant. I stopped drinking. And then afterwards, you know, when you fall pregnant, you're like, new beginnings, you know, I want to be a better person, and I'm not going to continue with this. Second chance to life. I did. I gave birth. I think for the period where I was breastfeeding, I wasn't drinking. And then after the breastfeeding, for like 2-3 months, I wasn't drinking. And then this one time, I'm like, let me just have, you know, 6 nyana, you know, just to take the edge off. I was back in it, drinking. I was back in it now. I couldn't go 2 days without drinking now. Then I had my second born in 2018. Second born, his okay. Can I even say their name? My firstborn's name is Moari, and then which means builder. And then my second born's name is Ayama, which means amazing gift. So yeah, Moari, builder, and Ayama, amazing. So I have my second born. He's 5 now. Another blessing. So obviously I quit drinking for the period I'm pregnant, because I had to. And then afterwards, also a few months after that, I'm feeling like, yeah, you know what, I'm done. I went back to it, and it was hectic. And now it was so frustrating, because I felt, especially with my firstborn, I felt I wasn't, in the first few years of his life, I wasn't like emotionally available that much, because I was dealing with so much, and there was turmoil inside of me from the past issues that I have never dealt with. You know, I was raped at 15, so I think that is the biggest contributor of the drug taking and the alcohol addiction, and they were like residual, there is the right word, right? Emotions that I didn't deal with. There were things that I did not deal with, things within me that I didn't deal with, and PTSD, anxiety, depression, bipolar. She's dealing with a lot of things. And you know, all these things, the PTSD is due to the rape and the abuse, and the bipolar. You know what drugs do? They alter the chemical in the brain. So a lot of recovered drug addicts, they develop some sort of mental disorder. It's a story for another day, or story as I continue. I'm jumping things now. So yeah, continued with the alcohol. I stopped for a while in 2020, and then my father passed away in 2020 October, and I was clean of the alcohol for like 7 months in 2020. I went back to the drinking because I'm not gonna blame it on my father's passing, but that triggered me. And then I went into this grief-stricken person in 2021. I was a mess, guys. Like, if I thought I was a mess when I was taking drugs, that was nothing. When I was grieving, that 2021, I lost my mind. I was drinking every day. I was coming to work sometimes drunk. But, you know, I don't know if my colleagues could tell or not. So I don't know if my mother could tell or not. I don't know. I think that everyone in the family was grieving. So, you know, when you're grieving, we grieve differently. Some people, most people, are too involved in their own grief that they, you know, we lost our hero. My dad was our hero. So we were just all dealing with things. I think, you know, for me, I checked out. I checked out from family. I was always fighting with one family member or another. It was back to me now, distancing myself from the family and mother and everything like that. I was just always drunk all the time. I lost all direction. I got into a very messed up relationship, and it was just a mess. Oh, by the way, I mentioned in my intro that I'm no longer with the father of my kids, but we co-parenting very well. So don't be surprised when now I'm talking about I was in a relationship in 2021. Like, who's this person that she's talking about? No, the father of my baby and my babies and I parted ways like a few years back when the boys were like in 2020. Yeah, we tried, but you know, through mutual agreements, you know, I think I was dealing with a lot. I couldn't be the partner that he needed at the time. I was a mess. So yeah, you know, amazing guy, but these things happen. And by the way, he was not the partner that was abusing me. Just so you know, we are clear, it wasn't him. It was somebody else. That was before him and I were even together. Okay, so anyway, let me go back to the story. So I lost my mind in 2021. Lost my mind. I was addicted, major. I couldn't function without the alcohol, guys. Like, let me tell you something. Bourgeois, I was sharp. Let me tell you, if you're drinking and you can manage your alcohol, kudos to you. You are one of the few that are not bound by the spirit of addiction. But let me tell you, alcohol could destroy your life. We think that drinking every day is normal. Guys, if the doctor didn't say have a glass of wine every day, why the heck are you drinking each and every day? It's not normal. It is not. I know the body needs alcohol and whatnot, apparently. I don't know that. But I'm just like, drinking every day, is it, are you okay? Dunas on a couch with a therapist, and then maybe he could holler at you, talk about your problems, because it is not normal to be drinking every day. I don't care what you say, if it's just to take the edge off or whatever. Let me tell you drinking each and every day, high normal. We are going through a lot. So for us to not go through a lot, God, I get it. There's this thing out. We are a generation that's going through a lot. So going through not a lot let's drink because it makes us feel better for a little while, but things just only get worse after that. But anyway, you know, we're all adults, yeah, honey. So yeah, in August of 2021, I met men of God. We started praying together. Excuse me, sorry, I keep burping. I don't know why. Excuse me. No, I keep burping because I was having a smoothie. Let me not say because I don't know why. It's because I was having a smoothie. So yeah, I met an amazing man of God, and he prayed for me, prayed with me. You know, I went on a spiritual journey now. You know, I was struggling with cigarettes and the alcohol. So eventually I just submitted and surrendered to God. I'm not gonna say higher power, to God, Christ Jesus, the one who died for you and me on the cross of Calvary, that Jesus. So I submitted and surrendered to him and gave my life to him, and I didn't put myself under any pressure. You know when they say, when it says that God wants us to come as we are, this is so true, because I came as I am. Addicted to alcohol as I am, addicted to cigarettes as I am. I came to him. I brought me to him, like, hey, this is me. I am perfect, but this is me. This is who I am, and I want you to transform my life. This is light, guys. I don't know what's going on with my lighting because it was so perfect. I'm almost done. I hope it's not too distracting. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. It's on my jacket, but yeah, it's the lighting. I'm using my mom's office today because I think the video that I uploaded the other day, there was a lot of noise. I work at a school, so there was a lot of background noise from the learners. See what I mean? It's the siren. I work at a school, guys. So yesterday I was in my office, but there was a lot of background music, background noise due to the learners. I think it was their break time. So yeah, it's the noise control is much better in here. So yeah, I surrendered to God, and I came as I was, and he washed my sins away. I have not had a drink since December 27th, 2021. That was the last cigarette I had that day, the last alcohol drop that I had. I've never, not even a kanyane, no. That was the last time. It's what, a year and a half now, 18 months, 19 months. I'm celebrating 2 years in December. I'm so excited. I am so excited. And you know what I have learned about sobriety, or the journey of sobriety, is that you need to clap for yourself each and every day. Each and every day that you're sober is an achievement. I think sometimes we rush ourselves. We want to be clean, kapela, you know, you want to be clean already, clean. Celebrate the little victories. Celebrate the smallanyana victories, you know. Celebrate, hore, it's a week, I'm sober. It's a day, I'm sober. Celebrate that. Celebrate the small wins, because the small wins will make big wins. So I just take it one day at a time. And for anyone out there who's a recovered addict, or who's on a journey of sobriety, take it one day at a time. That is no joke. It's not just a cliche saying, oh, take it one day at a time. It's literally, it worked for me. I take everything one day at a time, and that's how it works for me. It works because I'm not rushing myself. I'm patient with myself, and I'm taking it one day at a time, celebrating each and every day. So we celebrate the small victories so that they could build up to big victories. It's break time again, so there's gonna be a bit of background music. Excuse that, but I'm almost done. And yeah, I've since been on that journey, and I go around schools, I talk to young kids, I give them motivational talks, we do drug awareness campaigns, we do substance abuse marches. I've dedicated my life. Yes, I still work with my mother at the school. That's my 9 to 5. I come here, and it's a win-win because it's also a school. So I'm also going to be working with learners. So New Life, RYC, Recreational Youth Center, Restoration Youth Center, we go to schools and we speak to learners, and we're just trying to get their heads in the game that, listen, if you don't do 1, 2, 3, you are going to fail in life. You do not even want to try alcohol. Don't even. I tell them all the time, don't even try, because I started with alcohol at the age of 15. I ended up being what? A drug addict. So you might think, some people don't. I'm not saying that everybody who drinks becomes an addict, but I'm just saying I started drinking. I can only speak from experience. I started with alcohol. I ended up being an addict. I ended up losing a scholarship. I ended up dropping out of 2 varsities. I did become finance and marketing, 2 years each. I wasted 4 years. Registered my psychology in 2011, but guess what? I wasted so much time until I came to that place where I surrendered to Christ. And by the grace of God, I graduated for that psychology. I graduated this year in 2023 in May. So I am a BA psychology graduate with UNISA. But it took me so long because after registering for the psychology, if you're tracking with me, when I was saying I was addicted to the alcohol. So that kind of, addiction wastes time. So I wasn't taking, some years I would register, other years I wouldn't have, depression, come to PTSD, I started seeing my psychiatrist last year. A wonderful doctor from Vista Clinic in Centurion. She's been helping me so much. She diagnosed me with PTSD, thanks a lot, doc. Thanks a lot. And cyclothymia. Cyclothymia is, bipolar. There's bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. Bipolar 1 is severe, bipolar 2 is severe as well-ish, and then cyclothymia is also a mood disorder, because remember, bipolar is a mood disorder. So cyclothymia is like a third, its unofficial name is bipolar 3. It's like not as severe as 1 and 2, but at the end of the day, mood disorder is a mood disorder. Bipolar is bipolar. So I drink, I take antidepressants, 10 milligram of Lexamil, and Epitech, 50 gram in the morning and 50 gram in the evening. That's 100 gram. So yeah, mood stabilizers and antidepressants. I think I just overshared on that one. Did I need to tell you guys my milligrams of my medication? So don't do it. Stay away from drugs, guys. Be cool, stay in school. Stay away from drugs, guys. The drugs are little senyetsa bophelo. The drugs, jwala, alcohol. Little senyegela ke bophelo. Dilo tse, they're not worth it. I can tell you that. Alcohol, it's not worth it. It's not. These things, man. They waste your time. Don't give in to that, guys. Don't. It's not worth it. I tell you that, my God, I wish I could open my heart and just show you how my heart is so sore when I see these things. Because I've been there, I've experienced that. I've almost lost everything. Heck, I lost everything. I had to start over a new life. Guys, alcohol is not worth it. Drugs, don't even try it. Don't even be curious. Stay away from these things. So yeah, that's the bit I wanted to share on my journey with substance abuse. Basically today I was just sharing my journey with substance abuse. I think I'm gonna make another video, because otherwise it's gonna be too long and then y'all are not gonna watch, because it will bore. It's too long. I'm gonna make another segment maybe on my take on substance abuse. I just shared my journey, I think, because I said I was gonna share my journey and my take. I think I'll do another one, just my take on it, what could be the causes, or just on a general type of thing. Yeah, I'm gonna make it after this one, so I'll see you when to make time. And yeah, that's all I have to share for you guys today. Remember, God loves you. Jesus is king. Ew, guys, Jesus is king. He's seated at the right hand of the Father. That's what the scripture says. He is seated at the right hand of the Father. Jesus is king, guys. He is my peace. The book of Philippians 4 verse 6 to 7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything with prayer and petition, bring your requests to God. I think I'm paraphrasing it. And the peace of God that precedes all understanding will guard your hearts and your minds. He's my peace. In all situations, I'm not anxious, I'm peaceful. Yes, the meds help, but my greatest source of peace is Christ. Being rooted in him. The book of John 14:27 verse 14 or 14:27, I'm not quite sure. It says, Christ is speaking to his disciples, I think. He says, peace I leave you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not be afraid. Do not let your hearts be troubled. He gives us peace, not like the peace that we get from the world. We search for these things in your alcohols and your drugs. We search for a peace, happiness, joy. But the peace that Christ gives is not the peace that the world gives, because he will never take it away from you. That's the kind of peace I'm talking about. I think I became preachy there at the end. The preacher in me went, what's up? But yeah, you know, we are spiritual. We live by the Spirit. We're led by the Spirit. So God bless you guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. For those who tuned in, hey, if you have not subscribed, you know what to do. Click on that subscribe button, honey. We're still going to be seeing a lot of each other, because we're still going to be making more content, and I'll get used to this YouTube content creating thing. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to put my glasses back on now, because I need to dash. Have a beautiful day, whatever day it is, whatever day you're watching this. God loves you. Jesus Christ is King, and I love y'all.